Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 254 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by PrizePicks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time Tickets, the best place to buy tickets online and sports concerts. Our favorite events, the Boston Red Sox, are in the news a lot. They're everywhere, dude. My name is Joey Copponi. That's Scott Neville. Scott, how you doing?
I'm good. We signed everybody. We lost everybody. We signed them again. It's been a good time. It's been a whirlwind.
Trades?
Traded for everybody. Traded away everybody. Casas, see ya. Duran. I think combine that there.
It's pronounced Duran.
What is it?
It's Duran.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Duran, some people say. The Red Sox are a completely new look team. Everyone you loved is gone, and you're sad about it, but also they've acquired new guys, and you're happy about it. But also you're mad about what it cost. But also you're sad about who we lost.
One thing hasn't changed. We were in the bidding for two players that we lost out on.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start there. Do you want to start with Snell? Just to take a break from Soto, because it's been like two full straight episodes diving in with Juan Soto. So let's just take a quick break and talk about Blake Snell. I said on this show, I meant it, and I still in my heart believe it, even though it was proven to be false. They're like, this has to be the offseason where the Dodgers chill. It has to be. Like, I didn't think they had the pockets to pay Snell, especially not that kind of money. But I have to believe it ends there, that they cannot be in the sweepstakes for any other major free agent right now. They have deferred, Scott, over $900 million. Almost $1 billion deferred. That's not sustainable. It's forget the whole like the league should step in, all that stuff. It's simply not sustainable. This has to be like the very last one, right?
No, I don't think so. I think Soto maybe a stretch, but could they sign like a Teoscar back? Absolutely. Why not? I mean,
what are the Teoscar numbers even looking like?
60 to 70 million, I think.
For what? Baseball? For how many years?
3 or 4. Probably 3.
3 years at 20?
360. I could see that.
How old's Teo? 32?
I don't think it's going to be a good contract. I'll say that right now.
4 years, 60?
Could see it, but I think he could. I've seen numbers in the 60 to 70 range.
Okay.
But again,
I guess the Dodgers could be in on that. Go on. Who else could they also take?
Well, I don't think it'll be. I think that'll pretty much be the only other one. Like a notable right or outfielder. I think probably right fielder. Like I could see Teoscar, maybe even our good friend Tyler O'Neill. I don't know. I think they could get a notable right fielder. Maybe Santander.
I think at a certain point, there's a level of diminishing return where you are going to win the World Series, guys. Like, you're good. Like, you're fine. How many more good players do you need? I think you're good, right? Does this take them out of Sasaki? That's like my big thing. That's what I was thinking. I mean, it's weird to think that, a contract that's probably a third of what Sasaki is going to get would like take them out of the bidding, but it's just I don't know, when you see it all stacked up, it's like this might be the straw that says you can't also go and sign Sasaki for what is he slated in close to $4
million?
$4 million, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think this prevents them from doing that at all, unless I know you're trying to like make yourself feel better. I think the only way that prevents them from signing Sasaki is if he has a like an ego that says I can't be what will likely be the fifth starter on this team, as absurd as that is. Because like opening day, regardless of whether he's the fifth best pitcher on the staff, given the veteran experience and just like how this is going to roll out, I would imagine Sasaki probably the fifth starter on this team, which is absurd. I mean, he's a generational prospect.
Yeah.
So that would be the only thing. I don't think that would stop him from wanting to play with the two best Japanese players active, have two players in the clubhouse that, he can talk to and not only learn from because they've experienced things, but just be able to communicate with. Like, I'm sure people understate how hard it would be to be the only person besides your translator that you can talk to for a full baseball season. Like, that's insane to me.
It is crazy. When you think about it, like if you got signed in Japan or if you were like a free agent in Japan and there was one team
that had multiple
Bryce Harper and Mike Trout and then other teams that had like a spattering of, Freddie Freemans, you'd be like, I kind of want to go to a place that has
that and just the fact that you can talk to them, you can have a sense of community. Like you can offer that. Like LA can offer that, and there's no one that can make that argument on another team. Like there's other Japanese players, but there's no one where you can say like there's two core members that are Japanese, and you will be the third. And it would give them immense depth. They would have probably the best pitching staff in the modern era. It would be silly. I hate to say that kind of terminology, but it'd be absolutely silly.
That's your official report.
Yeah.
Your official diagnosis. It would be silly. You know what? I'll say this. It's already silly. It's silly. What they're doing is it's silly. Their rotation.
It's about to be goofy. That's where we might be approaching goofy.
It's past ridiculous. It's into silly, and it's approaching goofy.
If you get Oscar Sasaki, that's straight up goofy.
That's fucking goofy.
Yeah.
You'll be telling your grandkids about the 2025 Los Angeles Dodgers, and you'll be like, kids, gather around. That team was goofy.
The goofiest team you'd ever seen.
Their rotation right now, forget adding anybody, is
Phenom.
Shohei Ohtani, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, and then take your pick of Tony Gonsolin,
Clayton Kershaw, maybe?
Clayton Kershaw, Walker Buehler, who mixed feelings on, but I still think is like a mid-level rotation guy for any other team.
Free agent. We don't know.
Oh, right. Buehler's a free agent.
He'll be going to Boston when we miss out on all the other guys.
Do they still have not May, Robbie, what's his name? Redhead. Robbie
Dustin May?
Dustin May. Still got Dustin May?
You're in my head. Yeah, they do. But I think he's gonna be a reliever for this super team. I believe he will be a reliever. I believe he's already
he hasn't made relief appearances since 2019.
Yeah, sure, but I mean, and he did have a 2.63 ERA in 9 starts. People forget about him because of injuries. He has a career 3.10 ERA, just 291 innings pitched. His whole
he has
career
a career 138 ERA plus.
Yeah. Good player. 165 ERA plus last year. Yeah, he's good.
And this guy might be forced to the bullpen.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying stop it. Like, a lot of folks have a lot of opinions on what the Dodgers are doing, and I get it. Trust me, I get it. It sucks. But in the same breath, dude, gotta say, like, it's not their fault for using the system. The answer is not put a salary cap. It's not get the league involved to have them stop deferring money. Like, it's unfucking believable. Sorry to use a potty mouth, but I'm going to. It's unfucking believable that the Dodgers have been doing this for this long, and no other teams have been like, fuck it, we're going to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't. I mean, I get the Mets are like supposed to be that. They might be, but like they also have $150 million coming off the books right now. So like they would have to go in at an unprecedented level to approach like the Dodgers payroll right now. But I'm not mad at the system. I am mad at the Dodgers, but not with any kind of logic behind it. Just my heart is mad that I had to see another fucking passive notification that says breaking: the Los Angeles Dodgers have blah 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 blah. I'm just tired of it. And it's not even selfishly that I'm like, oh, I wanted the Red Sox to get Snell. Like, of course I want them to get the top free agents, but this wasn't a heartbreaker for me. I didn't have my heart set on Snell. It's not about him even coming to the Red Sox. It's just about him going there is frustrating. You want to shake every owner in Major League Baseball. Like, you guys awake? You guys doing stuff? Like, how did this happen? Granted, that fucking AAV is fucking ridiculous. So kind of hard to compete with, but
yeah, but they don't have to pay it. Which is the fun
that's
part.
the thing. They're not paying it till after the sun explodes.
And they get to do that because they are such a super team where it's like, we'll get you all your money. We're going to give you a huge bonus that you're not going to see, which is arguably, I think most players would do that. If you say, I'll give you $50 million now, and then I'll give you guaranteed money for like the next like decade, you're still going to get payments after you retire. They not only get to structure it so it benefits them. I think it benefits the player, and then they get to do the whole. Also, you defer some money now, you get to play on what could be the greatest team of all time.
Yeah. Get a couple rings.
This is what the Patriots did: is they would sign veterans to low deals, like 1 year, whatever, and just be like, "Hey, man, you've been to the Pro Bowl 6 times. Never won a ring though. Never really been on a winning team. Do you want to play with Tom Brady? Bill Belichick would coach you. We're pretty good over here. I don't know. It's cold. That sucks, but
you won't have a lot of fun.
Yeah, but like you'll get that ring. Win. It's fun to win. It'll be fun on Sunday. I'll tell you that." And
hey, that's a good line right there. You sounded like a coach. You could recruit me saying shit like that.
Yeah, I did already. The show.
That happened already.
I got you so good that you don't even remember being recruited. You think you just
you got me so good I don't even remember being got.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, yeah. Tyler Glass now sitting in on the Blake Snell pitch. I'm like, wow, you guys could get me with a pitch like that. Actually, he was traded, wasn't he? Never mind. That's a terrible.
Traded and extended.
So that counts. See, I forgot. I bet you Tyler forgot because they got him so good. I will say this does take one of the Red Sox alleged 3 targets off the board. I don't think this report was out there at the time. The last time we talked, I can't remember because there's so many fucking rumors that the Red Sox wanted 2 of Blake Snell, Max Fried, and Corbin Burns. Right? That was the 3?
Yep. And that's new. We haven't talked about.
I couldn't remember if Burns was in there or if it was. I thought it was Flaherty for some reason. Then there was like
those are the 3.
So they wanted 2 of them, which to me now would mean, if that report is true, that they would be pursuing Max Fried and Corbin Burns.
Yeah, and there was also a report today that I think it was Morosi that said even if we get Soto, they're still looking to sign Burns or Fried.
I do love that because I thought I was crazy for thinking that like if they get Soto, they don't just ignore the fact that they still need pitching too.
Right.
I do like the idea. I don't remember who put it out there. I think it was Bradford put it out there that there is no better way to convince Juan Soto that you can walk the walk and not just talk the talk than signing somebody like Max Fried now.
100%.
To be like, hey, I know we told you that we want to spend and we told you that we're ready to get starting pitching and that we're ready to invest in whatever. Look, we just did it. We got Max Fried. We're not done either. We still want to pay you. We also are still talking to Crochet. We also are still talking to Burns. That would move the fucking needle.
Not only that, but like he is going to hear, he's heard 4 or 5 pitches that all say this is our plan to win the World Series every year for the next 10 years. But if you're the one team, like you just said, acting, like it's not just that they said it, but it's also going to be that, well, the Yankees and the Red Sox are both saying they're going to do all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
If the Red Sox are the ones that signed the ace and now Snell's already off the table. And so it's like, okay, so now the Yankees only have a couple options left.
They got no options.
Yeah,
I don't
really
think the Yankees can make a good pitch. I will say, I think the Yankees are off the board.
I think a lot of people feel that way, which is kind of strange, but I don't want to say off the board, but I don't disagree that I'm not as worried about them as I am like either a surprise suitor like the Phillies, who haven't had a meeting with them, haven't reached out, so we should be good there, or like really the Mets, obviously. But honestly, the Mets too, like that landing spot, there's the money, but like all of a sudden the Red Sox is being talked about as the best landing spot in baseball because of these prospects and because they're now trying in their young core. It was funny because when the season ended, it was kind of just, it wasn't like, oh man, we are loading up, next year is going to be awesome. It was kind of like, man, 81 and 81 again. Like, we didn't have any confidence that this kind of thing would happen. And it was like, the narrative shift was so fast. But yeah, I think what you're saying, so Fried, there's a ton of pressure on because the idea is that they want to get a lefty. And he is the only notable one left in free agency. The other thing is really, like they talked about, like I know the report was between Fried, Burns, Snell that they wanted to get two. Super unrealistic. I will say there really is one more of those in Crochet, and that's it. That's all you got. You could make an argument, maybe Luis Castillo becomes available from the Mariners, and then it's like he's kind of in that conversation.
People also are throwing around Flaherty and Manaea.
Later, though. Like, that's not what we're talking about here, though. We're talking about a frontline like stud. Manaea had a good year, has been okay. Flaherty had a good year, has been okay over the bulk of the career. Very up and down. I'm talking about guys that, like, they're talking about going out and making a big swing. There's 3 big swings left in the starting pitching market. Yeah. And one of them you're going to have to make a big trade for. I don't know if you want to go to Crochet, but some of those rumors are absolutely obscene. Like, so stupid and inaccurate.
I do want to talk about Crochet. I do want to talk about who we think they land, how many we think they land. But first, I mean, I love making predictions, dude. You know that. That's something about me that everybody knows. And one place that I like to make predictions, PrizePicks. Do you know about PrizePicks?
You know, it's weird. I feel like I hear it at least weekly. I hear about them.
I'll tell you about it right now if you want to. PrizePicks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. PrizePicks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your cash. Run your game all season long on PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the only real money daily fantasy sports platform with an injury insurance policy. How crazy is that? Honestly, that's so. People have begged for that forever. PrizePicks is giving you that, so your lineups stay in play even if one of your players gets injured. If your player leaves in the first half and does not return, PrizePicks keeps your lineup alive. PrizePicks puts their members first, obviously. So all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. Just do the instant transfer. Boom, bam, got your money. PrizePicks now offers Venmo for quick and easy deposits and withdrawals into your account this sports season. So sign up today and get $50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, which you obviously know all about. Scott, you love Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks. Do you want to tell them what Taco Tuesday is?
Here's what I know about Taco Tuesday is it has nothing to do with the title. It's a very confusing description.
What are you talking about? It's couldn't be more cut and dry. It's straight to the point. Each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections up to 25% to provide even more value for your lineups. That's why they call it Taco Tuesday.
Right. It was me. It was me that was tripping.
It was you the whole time. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup when you use code CLNS. PrizePicks. Run your game. The Garret Crochet price. The asking price. The alleged asking price. The reported trade asking price. I'm going to use this word again. It's goofy.
It's so goofy. It might be more goofy than the Dodgers, to be honest.
I said to you on this show 2 weeks ago, Wilyer Abreu and like a midline prospect, and I would be happy. And you were like, really? Would you? That's I said Wilyer Teal and a midline prospect. Sorry. And you were like, you would do that? Wow, that's a lot. I don't know if I would do that. And now it is Tristan Casas, Cespedes, Sandlin, and Connor Wong, Trevor Story, the Green Monster.
Montgomery, who was our first-round pick.
Braden Montgomery, the House of Blues.
Yep.
They want the 07 trophy. It's insane. It's insane. And I don't know how true these things are, but
Cotillo said they wouldn't even discuss conversations without the House of Blues.
That's what he said. He was like, they want a piece of Lansdowne.
And they said Loretta's is good as gone. And that's something they've agreed to already. You can get rid of Loretta's.
That one's already kind of set in stone. So do not try to go to Loretta's. You are going to be dumbfounded at what you find in its footprint. I wrote on this in Newsweek this week, dude. There was a question and answer with, I believe it was Jim Bowden. I'm not going to check. It doesn't matter. It's one of the guys. It's one of the guys that's not one of the top guys.
Yep.
And somebody asked.
He's a guy, not a dude.
Yeah, guy, not a dude. One of the guys was asked, what would the Red Sox have to trade to acquire Crochet if they didn't want to move any of their big four prospects? And his answer, correct me if I'm wrong, was Wilyer Abreu, Connor Wong, Tristan Casas.
Yeah, you're right. I'm looking at it right now. It's absurd. Based on what the White Sox are saying, I think a package of Casas, Abreu, Connor Wong probably gets closer to landing Crochet. Gets closer.
Gets closer. We know that Garret Crochet has 2 years on his contract, right?
Yeah.
That he's not. This isn't like, an early Juan Soto deal where you got like 4 years of him, right? Like we know.
Can I say something about this?
Please.
This whole thing. Okay, so this is what happens. At the beginning of the year, or the offseason, you talk about what's fair value. And then you get to this point where, rumors are flying and, now you got a marquee starter off the board and that limits the team. Now it's like, there's only so many guys left, and then that drives the price up. And then teams get really stingy, and then guys like Jim Bowden talk out of their ass and say some insane shit like this. And then if the other teams have a sense of respect for themselves, as they did last offseason, they wait it out. Do you remember the White Sox, their offseason last year, where they were trying to trade Dylan Cease all year and all offseason and trade deadline? They didn't end up doing it at trade deadline because they didn't like what they got, because they were asking for obscene prices. And then they wanted all these obscene things during this part of the offseason. And so they didn't get what they wanted. So they held out. And then they traded Dylan Cease in mid-March. And do you want to know what they got?
What'd they get for Dylan Cease?
They got Drew Thorpe, who was the number 85 prospect in baseball. One bottom tier, top 100 prospect. And then San Diego's number 5. Oh, sorry, that number 5 was Drew Thorpe. Then the number 7, 8, and an unranked player in the deal. So they got one top 100 prospect who is lower than all of our big four. I would imagine, actually, I'm pretty sure Montgomery, he might be the 85th prospect of baseball. So basically, Braden Montgomery, and then you're talking, it would basically be Braden Montgomery, Luis Perales, maybe Miguel Blaze, probably someone a little bit lower than that for Dylan Cease. Now, Crochet is younger.
2 years, right?
Better.
Didn't Cease had 1 year, right?
No, because he didn't get extended, I don't think.
You're right. Yeah. He did have 2.
Yeah. I think the only difference is, one, Cease had a blow up at the end of the year. He actually ended the year with a 4.5 ERA. But you were banking on all of these intangibles. He had a 3.47 this year, so it was right. But the year before, he had a 2.20. The difference, though, he had made 32 starts in 3 consecutive seasons, 32, 32, 33, leading up to that. He was 27 at the time, going into his age 28 season. But we're talking, the gap is not Braden Montgomery headlining the trade to Tristan Casas, Connor Wong, Wilyer Abreu. And if you think that's the difference between Crochet and Cease, you're insane.
I think very rarely do we see the return for the prized possession of a trade, like the marquee name of a trade. Very rarely do we see the return and go, holy shit, overpay in baseball.
Yeah.
You really don't see it because,
Juan Soto's trade to the Yankees isn't even close to what Jim Bowden just proposed.
That is insanely true.
Yeah, what it took to get Juan Soto wasn't even close to what we're saying about the. I mean, don't get me wrong. Based on what the White Sox are saying, if Jim Bowden asked the White Sox, what would you like from the Red Sox team, and they said, I would love Casas, Connor Wong, and Wilyer Abreu, and he just went, that's what it takes. I don't know.
I think that's either not not knowing the Red Sox well and not knowing how the caliber of player there. But I mean, I think that's so incredibly wrong. I will say there were reports this week from McAdam that the Red Sox had, I don't remember the exact words, but the negotiations on the Crochet front had stalled.
Yeah.
And that they had stepped away. Again, I'm paraphrasing here, but they had stepped away from negotiations for a bit.
Of course, because that's what the White Sox do.
Yeah, I mean, to what you were just saying, if they're doing the same shit again, Crochet might start in Chicago. It just might happen that they are going around demanding shit like that. And then at the trade deadline, maybe not even this year, maybe it's next offseason. We could very well just be looking at another situation where a guy is held hostage there because, their front office stumbled on, a diamond and thinks that they found, I guess that was a bad analogy. Let me try that again.
Terrible. Yeah.
That they stumbled on an emerald and they think they have a diamond.
Okay.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
I don't know if are emeralds worth more. Hold on, let me check how much emeralds are worth.
Diamond definitely gets the better marketing.
Sure, yeah, definitely, no doubt.
I think he gets
value of emeralds versus diamonds.
Unless Getz has learned his lesson, I feel like spring training is when we're looking at this thing happening because that seems to be his thing. He will hold out for the biggest price possible and then eventually settle.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, you're wrong.
So there is a wide range in the rarity and clarity of emeralds, which is obviously the name of the game, rarity and clarity.
Yeah, of course.
So diamonds can range anywhere from 2,000 to 14,000 per carat, as we all know.
Yep.
Emeralds, do you want to take a guess?
Is it a bigger range?
It's a bigger range.
I'm going to say $700 to $21,000.
from $1 to $100,000.
Oh man, I feel like I put out a cast in a wide net there. It wasn't even close. I'm
Not
thinking
even
small.
in the same stratosphere. So emeralds, I
So
guess
they thought they found a diamond, but they found a not good emerald, not clear.
he is misjudging the rarity and clarity of his
The
emerald.
emerald. There we go. We found it.
Yep.
Glad you guys could take that take the ride that you just went on with us.
And then a lot of GMs are like, "Oh, we'll pay you diamond price," and he's like, "Whoa, emeralds are worth up to $100,000 per carat." And it's like, you don't have $100,000 per carat emerald, you fuck.
That's a blurry ass emerald, if you ask me. With Tommy John history, that's a way more blurry than you think it is.
He had one season of 30 starts. Take fucking diamond price. Whatever.
That's not fair. You just got LASIK, but to the average person, that's a blurry thing. You're looking at it differently than us.
Who's the White Sox GM?
Yeah, Chris Getz.
Chris Getz. Getz Jewelers. Is that anything?
I couldn't tell you.
Getz Jewelers, Cincinnati, Ohio. That's not far from Chicago. That is not far from Chicago. I'm going to go ahead and make the allegation that this is him.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way to find out. There's no way to check that.
Go to the Secretary of State LLC page.
What's his first name? Chris?
Chris. Still.
I wonder, is he, does he come from jeweler money?
That'd be great.
Now I'm just going down a rabbit hole of nothing.
Yeah.
This is what I do at 4 a.m.
Yeah,
this is the kind of stuff that I'll look up, and then I'll write like a pitching preview off this kind of stuff. That's how
That makes sense a lot.
You just got a behind the scenes of how I write a pitching preview.
Oh wait, he didn't get his money. He's the GM, not the owner, and he was actually a former player. But money, it's not his money.
Right. Why would a GM have to come into money to get their job?
Right. So what you're looking for is the guy that used to own the Bulls as well. What's his name?
Oh yeah, that guy. The Bulls. I know all about the association.
White Sox owner Jeffrey Reinsdorf, who everyone I believe hates.
Reinsdorf really sounds like a jeweler, kind of because it sounds like rhinestone. Reinsdorf.
Make his money.
Well, tough name.
Yeah. And you're not kidding. Real estate taking advantage of the Franklin Lion Company.
What?
Yep.
Jerry
He
Reinsdorf.
also helped himself with sports ownership. Do you know how much he bought the Chicago White Sox for?
What year was it?
It was 81.
$60 million?
19.
Wow.
Do you know what he bought the Bulls?
Nuts.
Do you know what he bought the Bulls for? One of the most historic franchises in NBA history.
The Bulls, was this also in the same era, like the 80s?
85.
So they were pretty irrelevant before Michael, right?
Yeah.
Is it the same thing, like 15 million?
9.2.
Holy shit. Investment of a lifetime.
I'm very confident I could scrounge up $9.2 million for a sports franchise pretty easily.
MLS is doing that.
Yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah, we could buy an MLS team
Because
they're trying to expand really quickly. They were actually there's a good conspiracy podcast out there that you guys should look up that kind of breaks that all down. But there were some big theories that like the MLS was like doing some laundering, and that's why they were like, "Hey, quickly, we need a bunch of other teams to
spread
to
out.
account for all of this money."
Okay, I could be down for a scheme.
Yeah,
I got some important friends.
Hey, look, I'm down to do anything for money.
Right.
I'll do anything. And if you're listening out there, I'll do anything.
So you don't think that Crochet is going to go for what? You don't think it's going to be Casa, Swong, and Ray?
Maybe I'm just not being clear enough. I'll do fucking anything.
Right. And do you think? I think the thing about it is, this puts a lot of pressure on them to get Max Fried, and they now have leverage that the Fried side of things that is not ideal because they kind of know that they need him. Do you ever think about that?
Well, you know what I do think about?
What you'll do for money?
I think about how Game Time is the best place to buy tickets online to sports, concerts, all your favorite events. Game Time has a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. The curated deals make it easier to find the best price on great seats, and the super deal, Scott, as you know, new feature, they just give you the best of the best. Don't waste your time going,
Oh, Shay, well, actually, the best bang for your buck, the view from here is actually better.
you can see the view. You can see the view. They got the panoramic view right from your seat, and they'll tell you how good the deal is. Just filter it for only super deals, and they'll show you the best of the best. You can also toggle all-in pricing. That shows you the total up front, so no surprise fees at checkout. That's the worst. I just bought, or I went to buy pre-sale tickets, because you can only do this on the band's official site, right? I'm not even going to say the name. I went to go buy these pre-sale tickets.
It was the Blues Clues.
It was the Blues Clues band. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Blues Clues brothers. And the fees at checkout were like $85 per ticket. I was like, I wouldn't have even gotten this far if you had told me that. Why would I possibly do that? Toggle the all-in pricing feature on Game Time.
That is actually, that's like the best feature in sports ticketing, because I hate, you're right, that'll get you, and it's so much easier to just know the actual price and not then have that second guess at the door being like, oh wait, this is actually $100 more, and that's just good marketing on their end, because you don't have people at the final stage right before they're about to click submit be like, oh, you scammed me, like
exactly.
And so I do like that. Like I said, I use that a lot. I told a story on this show about how I went to a Celtics playoff game, got confused by what balcony we were in, and then didn't like where we sat, and then bought different tickets while at the stadium using the last second, which was fiscally not my best decision. But I'm glad Game Time was there to let me do that.
They do have the last minute pricing too, so
they didn't have the super deals back then either.
Nope. New feature. But you have to scroll through, see the full price, and see a view. It's honestly, it's the best. Download Game Time. Create an account and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Of course, again, create an account. Redeem code CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? You say it, dude.
Yeah, I think it's Game Time.
Game Time. All right, can we finally talk about Juan Soto, please, dude?
I guess.
5 teams made offers to Juan Soto. The Toronto Blue Jays, 4 teams made offers to Juan Soto that matter. The Boston Red Sox, the New York Yankees, the New York Mets, and the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Not the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I said them, but the 4 teams.
Dude, they got Ohtani.
No, they didn't.
He was on the plane.
No, he wasn't. It wasn't on the plane.
It's what it was said.
He turns out he was never on the plane.
Well, he might have parachuted.
He was in LA the whole time with Decoy, his dog. Remember his dog Decoy? He was in LA. He was hanging out the whole time. And then he stayed in LA. He never even left town. When you say
his dog Decoy, you mean like his boy, like, is my dog Decoy, or like
no. It does kind of sound like a human nickname and not a name for a dog at all.
Yeah.
But no, that's his puppy, dude.
Animal. Okay.
Yeah, he was at home with his little puppy, dude, and he never even moved. He lived in the same house that he lived in when he played for the Angels. I could show you a lot
of reports that say otherwise.
Yeah, those he didn't go to Toronto, dude. Nobody went to Toronto. As a matter of fact, it seems a lot more like people are going to be leaving Toronto pretty soon. People are already fantasizing about Vlad Jr. being a free agent. People have forgotten about Bo Bichette because, thank God, it's not really a destination as much as it is a takeoff point. Somewhere you leave to go to a good team. But they were good for a sec. That was cool. Didn't win a game in the playoffs, right? Didn't they get swept last year when they made it in?
They did, and then they didn't even make it this year, not even close.
Yeah, and they're not going to next year either. They're going to suck. So, Blue Jays,
you're calling
thank
them?
you for coming. Very nice.
You calling it out?
Yeah, I'm gonna give the old it's not over till it's over fantasy football thing, where I'll give them the 0.1% chance of winning.
Right.
The Los Angeles Dodgers. You can't fucking do it. You cannot do it.
No, they haven't met with him yet, and they're in LA. Soto is in California, and they have not met with him yet.
They haven't met. I bet they just threw out an offer that's in the range, and we're like, hey, we'll give you $550 deferred for 20 years. And I can't imagine, because there's no way that he would take that. All the reports have indicated that he doesn't want deferred money. So there's no way the Dodgers have the funds up front to pay him. I don't consider them to be part of it. The Yankees pitch sucks. The Yankees pitch is, we're the Yankees. You were already here. Didn't you like it? We went to the World Series together, remember? Didn't you have fun? Not really, because the second that I was a free agent, I was like, I am a free agent. He never took the time to be like, yeah, I've really loved it here in New York. And he was just like, no, I am a free agent. I went to the Scott Boras class of being a Scott Boras free agent. I'm a free fucking agent. Never really felt like he was supposed to be a Yankee. And the report of their meeting together, Soto came out and was like, what is your guys' fucking farm system? Do you guys have a plan? Do you guys have guys coming up, or are you just going to keep spending on a superstar every 2-3 years and hoping that eventually they'll all line up and be here at the same time before Stanton passes away, and then before Cole's arm inevitably falls off, and then Judge turns 39 next year? Are you ever planning on having multiple good players at once, or how is that ever going to work? And then the Mets are just the Mets. The Mets are the one team that scares me.
It's kind of funny because in a way, the Soto trade is the reason he can't come back to the Yankees, because their plan, they got rid of a lot of young, meaningful talent to acquire him. If Michael King would certainly be a part of that pitch. No doubt about it.
Live by the sword, die by the sword, or whatever,
Yeah, Drew Thorpe would be a part of that pitch. He was in that. It's kind of funny how they traded so much that they kind of don't have a plan now.
Yeah, he's like, where are your prospects? And they're like, we paid for you with them, man. They're in San Diego.
So San Diego, if they make me an offer, I'll listen then.
Kind of crazy that just how much things have changed in San Diego from a couple of years ago. Yeah. Obviously, it's clear why, but it is just crazy that if this free agency was happening 2-3 years ago, that absolutely the Padres would be a front runner right now. Now their name is not even mentioned. Scott, call me crazy.
Probably will.
I'm going 45% Red Sox, 40% Mets, 5% field. That math doesn't even make sense, because then there's an unaccounted for 10%. But I'm doing it.
I like that. I like it being at a 90% total.
Yeah. Actually, it's 90.1, because I did give the Blue Jays 0.1.
But so you're not including them in the field, though? Because that would be included
in
the
field. Wait, right. Yeah, so I'll give them the 0.1, and then 9.9 split evenly between the Dodgers and the Yankees. Or the Stinkies, as I call them.
Oh, Joseph. Yeah. I I actually don't think that's it kind of makes sense, to be honest.
Right? Like, there's only so many options.
When you only feel like there's like two real teams, 45% is not absurd at all.
No.
I'm getting a little too, yeah. But I will say, Blake Snell not only signing with the Dodgers, but the tweet from Heyman being like, not only did the Red Sox try and get him, but they also lost out on Kikuchi. It's like, okay, all right, we're still doing the second place bids thing. Like, what are we? I don't know.
I think they're done with that, dude. I think they're done with that. I think
What do
they're
you
done with
mean?
that.
They're 2 for 2 already.
I mean, I think that they are fucking tired of being portrayed that way.
But they're 2 for 2.
I don't see them going 3 for 3.
Okay, I'd love that.
I did say that we were going to talk about the pitchers. I know that we did kind of just immediately jump to Soto, but
we spent a lot of time talking about diamonds and emeralds that wasn't accounted for in the show sheet. So
right. Actual prediction. End of the offseason. What are the big marquee additions? We haven't done this yet somehow.
You're right. I'm gonna go Soto.
I know.
I'm gonna say Soto, Crochet, and I'm putting Fried as like it wouldn't shock me. Not both, but
I was thinking Soto and Fried. And listen.
We talked about it though. We talked about it. If you get Soto, Crochet feels like a slam dunk because you basically have to trade Wilyer Abreu.
Yeah, but then also Willier's like trade value does kind of change. If you're the White Sox and you're smart, you know that they have to shed an outfielder. So that like just decreases the value. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it does give a little bit of leverage, but it doesn't reduce the value of the package in return. Like, it still could be the best package in a negotiation. Like, his value doesn't change when you stack him up against the headliner of another team's trade. It's just that you're right in the sense of if they're bidding against themselves, they now might have to throw in a little more. But when the White, like, to get them to pull the trigger, you're right. But when the White Sox are at the point where they tell themselves, hey, we're going to take the best deal by February 1st or whatever, they still have to look at whatever the best total package was, and Wilyer has immense value in that sense.
You're right. You're right. Speaking of leverage, because you mentioned that, then there was some talk of after John Heyman's article, people kind of jumped to the conclusion or had the jump scare of, oh shit, are we being used as leverage?
Yeah, I think.
Are we being used as bait?
I don't think that's wrong.
You don't think that's wrong?
I think they are serious, but I do think that's a very realistic possibility. Like, I would never shut that down.
I think Heyman absolutely uses teams as leverage. I mean,
100%.
He's done. I mean, it's really not a conversation. Like, he's done it.
Yeah.
But I think in this sense, I think he's just reporting what he's hearing because everybody is saying that. It's not Heyman just saying something. Everybody is saying, wow, like, keep an eye on the Sox. They're serious. They really want him.
Yeah. It was, I mean, Nightingale's second point on that big thing he released recently was the Red Sox are really, really talking a big game.
Yeah.
So
I believe maybe Fried. No, I mean, I think they. Maybe I'm so deep in the thick of it. I'm going to say something really fucking spoiled right now, and I hate fans who talk like this. But it's just my honest gut feeling right now. Anything less than Soto, I would be like a little let down right now. That's crazy talk, but I've made up my mind that he's coming here. So if they get Fried and Burns opening day, I'd be like, man, it sucks that Soto's in Queens. It sucks.
Here's the thing. The day that Soto signs elsewhere, it's hard. But when you have the 2 weeks of no signings, hopefully in between. Then you have the time to recalibrate. By the time spring training starts, you're amped about Burns free.
Yeah, you're right.
Amped.
You're right. It would just be a tough day or two. You're right. Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, and there would be like that. Man, we almost got Soto, but like by the time it's time to start playing ball, you'd be just thinking about, wow, Corbin Burns, Max Fried, Tanner Houck, Cutter Crawford,
yeah.
Brian Little.
Remember? Can I little take on Soto? A weird take I'm not proud of. This back-to-back things I'm not proud of saying, but I'm going to say anyway.
Gotcha.
I think the Mets is the worst option because, like, just in terms of like as just a fan.
Not only do I think I agree 100%. I also think it's the worst option for Soto because, to be honest, they're just kind of a worse version of the Yankees situation. Like, they don't have much in the.
And they already have a leader, much like the Yankees.
Yeah,
he's not going to be the dude.
I think Soto trumps Lindor pretty easily.
I don't think so. I mean the experience and also just like the fan whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Fanfare. I don't know. I think there would be more Soto jerseys than Lindor jerseys on opening day next year. But
yeah,
I will say this. I don't think, like everyone talks about that. I really don't think, and I don't know Soto, who or maybe I'm way wrong. I think the idea that everyone tries to spin of, well, he wouldn't be the guy. Again, with the Dodgers, they tried to tell us that Yamamoto wouldn't sign with the Dodgers because he'd be the number 2 Japanese guy. And it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, what?
Yeah, that one I never bought, but I don't know. I think Soto.
People are making the argument in New York about how you'll always be the number 2 to Judge, and I'm like, I don't know. I think he enjoyed playing with Aaron Judge last year because those two willed that team to a World Series by themselves. Unfortunately,
yeah, but does he want to do that again? Does he want to? I don't know.
Well, no, that's a different argument. That's a different argument. That's about what's around it. But they're trying to act like Aaron Judge being there is almost a negative, and then other people are trying to act like Judge will be upset because Soto will get more money. When it's like okay, actually, side note on that, I would venture to guess that Judge would be elated to reacquire Soto. But it was absurd that they asked him about it, and he was like, I haven't talked to him. I haven't reached out. I feel like I should let him do his thing. That's crazy to me. I feel like people aren't talking about that enough. That is – can you imagine if that's what was like when we talked to Ortiz last week, he's like, I'm just gonna let Soto do his thing. Like, I'm not going to I'm not going to try and sway him.
This is a different situation, obviously, but like when Bogey was a free agent, if we asked Devers and he was like, yeah, no, I haven't talked to him.
I just want to let him kind of.
That's obviously a totally different situation, but like, still, like,
I'd hate to be the reason why he made a choice.
Yeah, well, it's not really my decision, so I don't want to influence his decision. That's crazy. I really don't have
a preference. You know?
I just think with the Red Sox, the opportunity to be a leader to an emerging young core is enticing. I'll say that. Maybe not better. Or like it sucks to have another superstar next to you, but he would have another superstar next to him and a guy who doesn't like being in the limelight. So he
has David Ortiz telling him he's going to be the next David Ortiz here.
Yeah. He's saying, dude, they named a bridge after me. I was a DH.
You could do that. And you figured out how to play defense this year.
They're tearing down all the streets and building new shit. You think they're not going to name, one of these streets fucking Soto Ave? Dude, they will. They will workshop the name, but Soto Lane?
Soto Circle.
Soto Circle. Ooh.
Got a little something to it.
Soto Circulo. Perhaps, dude. Fucking perhaps. I just think the Mets are boring, too. I mean, like, here's the thing. Yep. Every postseason that the Red Sox are not in, I follow the Mets, and, like, they kind of become my de facto NL team. And, if I'm, scrolling through MLB TV, and the Sox aren't on, and the Mets are on, I'll throw the Mets on. Like, I like them tangentially, but him going to the Dodgers is headlines. Once it pisses a lot of people off, but like, there's a spectacle there. The Yankees, I almost kind of like that, like in division rivalry of like, oh, well, I know the Red Sox made him a good pitch and fuck you, and you can make something out of that. The Mets is just the boring option where I'm like, you're just going to go there and I'm going to see a highlight of you once every 2 weeks and cool. I'll see you in October.
I think the Mets are so boring, and I can't get over that. I think it's the jerseys, but we did this last in the postseason. You made the case that they're the fun team. I just think they're so boring always, and I don't know what that. I feel the same way about the Giants. I don't know if it's like the little brother thing in New York, but I just think it's just like I don't know. I can't get excited about that team.
You think the Giants are the little brother?
Oh yeah.
To the Jets?
Yeah.
That's crazy talk.
Not in terms of performance, but in terms of,
popularity?
Yeah.
No way. The Giants are definitely the team.
You think that
the Giants are definitely the team. The Jets are the little brother.
That's only because the Jets have been so bad. But when they got Rodgers, that did way more than anything else in the Giants, even when they were winning.
Sure.
Market size, Jets or Giants.
What are you seeing?
This is franchise value, which is not what I wanted.
Oh, well, what does that say?
Well, yeah, the Giants are more valuable. Well, wait. Yes.
Yeah.
Local ratings down in NFL's biggest markets.
Well, sure. We're talking right this second, but
well, no, I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, maybe that's not. I'm not. No, that wasn't even. I think that was also about the Jets. I don't. I'm trying to find like a. I guess the Giants are more popular. I think.
Yeah, I think they're the big boy team. Either way,
I just thought it was the Jets.
Either way, the Mets bore me if that's where he lands. I think Shohei would have been kind of fun on the Mets, but something about Soto to the Mets just makes me go, ah. If I see that tweet, I would go, ugh.
Yeah, so. I completely agree. I think you'd be more than, I think you'd be more like, because that would also be the moment that the Red Sox would lose him. So you got to factor that one in.
Even if the Red Sox are out of it, like it's between the Yankees and the Mets. At that point, if I've already accepted it, if he chooses the Mets, I would be like, ugh, that's just gross, just boring. What do you have anything else in that sweet little noggin of yours, Brother Bear?
I got one thought to empty.
All right, Scott, get that thought out of there, dude.
First of all,
I always say, what's going on?
That was a crazy thing to have prepared based on the comment I just made. So I got to empty a thought, and I don't know where that came from. That was kind of convenient. Secondly, as much as Blake Snell in a vacuum isn't my favorite target of the big three, he'd be third for me of Burns, Fried, Snell. There was something about the excitement of getting Breslow, Bailey, Willard, and company to work with Blake Snell because they care so much about stuff, and his stuff metrics are way better than the competition, like everyone else in free agency in the league, really. And I would have been very interested to see. He would have been the most polarizing. Would have had the lowest floor, highest ceiling. It would have been very interesting to see if they took that, throw strikes approach that they did with Houck and a lot of other guys, which I know that's way oversimplified. But, they would have messed with his usage. They would have prioritized his off-speed stuff, the whole no four-seam thing. And I think that would have worked for Snell about as well as any free agent in the last 2 years since Breslow has taken over. So I would have that would have been really interesting to me. That's honestly the thing I'm most bummed about. It's not even so much that the Red Sox lost out on Snell. It's just the what could have been to like what we could like that transformation. I think would have been one of the more dramatic and fun transformations of a free agent, and so that's really my biggest takeaway from the Snell signing, other than the Dodgers being insane. Goofy.
Yeah, I will say there as much as like that's an exciting idea to see like, well, what could Bailey do with a guy who's so up and down? On the flip side of it, somebody like Fried, it's like, okay, well, you don't have to worry about the downs. He's a guy who's consistently very good. So you don't need Bailey to fix this guy. It's just a matter of he's good. You should probably just let him do his thing.
Yeah, I hear you, but think about the raw stuff that Houck had and where he started from where he finished. Imagine now Snell starting as a 2-time Cy Young winner where he could finish. That's my only take. But I agree. I typically go with floor over ceiling in terms of starting pitching. I'll take, at least for like the frontline guy, when you're talking about, a middle guy, like Walker Buehler, I would love as like a value add because that's a ceiling play. But that's who I would want to replace like the Pivetta role. But you need first to get an ace on top of that. So, yeah, that's really my only thing that I just wanted to say about that from because we didn't really talk a ton about it from the Red Sox perspective, other than how it impacts the rest of the signings. But yeah, that's that. I don't know. Would have been interesting to see what they would have done with him if they would have, really leaned on his slider and some of his off speed that ranks incredibly high and just almost told them, we don't need your fastball. Just throw the filthiest shit you got.
It's kind of been lost in the mix here, but the Giolito connection, I think, is going to be really important. I know it has been talked about, but it's also just kind of fallen to the back of our ether right now. So,
right now, for sure, yeah.
Just worth reminding that, like I think that connection goes a long way.
Maybe say what that is.
They know each other. High school,
with
right?
Max Fried. I don't think you even mentioned Fried.
Oh, really?
You just said, I think that Giolito connection is going to be really helpful.
Yeah.
Max Fried and Giolito went to high school together.
Yep.
There we go.
Yep. Yeah, you were talking about Snell, and I just jumped in.
Yeah, you just
on my Fried take.
That was loading in your head, and you just got it out without any context.
Yeah, that one just spilled out. My bad.
Yeah.
I think
that can help. I think
because
pitch.
Here, I'll work it in. Let me.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great point, Scott. And I also think that now that Snell's off the board and like you're back looking at these other guys and who Bailey and the gang can really work with, and obviously we're just talking about Max Fried. I think it's worth reminding people the connection that he has to Lucas Giolito. Obviously, they were teammates in high school, known each other a long time. They were seen hanging out not too long ago. I don't want people to forget, that they do have a connection and that could go a long way in bringing Fried here. And, with Snell off the board, I think he's your best option. I think he's also your most likely option. So we're worth reminding the people that connection is there. It's really why I do predict that they will bring Max Fried to Boston, probably sooner than Juan Soto.
That, again, your point earlier about them going out and making a move now, it cannot be understated. Like that could be the difference of getting Soto or not. Yep. And then you end up with, a Fried Soto or none of it. You know what I mean? Like that could be the biggest swing of the decade for the Red Sox.
Yeah.
Not to be dramatic.
The biggest swing of the decade.
Oh, in baseball. That'd be a good title for like a book. It would do terrible in headlines. There's no search engine optimization involved there. But
no, but that'll probably be the name of this episode.
I like that.
Biggest swing of the decade. All right. Well, we thank you guys for listening. The David Ortiz interview is still up on the YouTube. It's not going anywhere. We're not going to take it down. But quite a few viewers on that one, so you can go watch that if you want to. You can follow us on the YouTube. It's the Red Sox Clubhouse, the CLNS Red Sox YouTube channel. You can find us there. You can find us on socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 47. 6, just like the Red Sox are planning to pay Juan Soto for the next 14 years.
You remember you did this exactly last show?
Did I do it already exactly?
Exactly, except you said the lower
no,
number.
I did
and
it
wasn't
wrong
enough.
because this number is 644.
Yeah, but you said like 12 or 13. You said the number wrong,
Yeah.
but you did just like Juan Soto's AAV in Boston for the next, and then you picked a number, and it ended up being 500 something million, and somehow that wasn't enough.
644 gets it done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's actually going to be like 615. All right. Appreciate you guys listening. We will see you next week. Have a good Thanksgiving. Give thanks to
us.
whoever's around. To us. Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you.
You're welcome, man. I know I've been a huge help to you.
Thank you for all that you do and all that you will do. Because I know that you got more in the tank, brother.
I got one thing in the tank to be really exciting.
Yeah?
Could be
What
on the
is it?
show. I can't say.
Oh, yeah, we might have a guest coming up in the following weeks
In the
to
coming
months?
weeks/months.
Yeah. Okay. So look out for that episode in the
But
coming
she also
weeks.
said near
/
future.
months.
She also said near future.
Near future. All right. Well, keep your eyes peeled for that, folks. For Scott Neville, I'm Joey Copponi. Go Sox, kid.